Hey, this is Corey from State of Mind, and you are listening to Honest Brutality.
Created by the people, created for the people. No holds barred, no punches pulled, just honest brutality. I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking, but you don't ever talk about my band again. What's this honest brutality shit anyway?
Honest brutality.
Hey everybody, it's Camera Rebel with Honest Brutality, and I'm sitting here with all my buddies. Hey guys, how are you?
Hey guys. Hello.
Hey.
And on the line we have Steve and Corey from State of Mind. Welcome to the roundtable, guys.
Hey, what's going
Glad
on?
to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to have a conversation with us. We really do appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having us on. We appreciate getting a chance to talk to you guys.
Yeah, you bet. So real quick for our listening audience, Steve, you do vocals and Corey, your bass, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So, hey, let's jump into your guys' EP, Devil in Disguise, real quick. I have to say, it's top notch. I absolutely love it. And I know that you guys know that I absolutely dig what you're doing. And that EP dropped in 2016, right? Just recently.
Yeah, yep. In September of 2016, we released our sophomore EP, Devil in Disguise.
Right. And then your first one was actually self-titled EP, correct?
Yeah, that was our self-titled. Our first, we got a chance to cut our teeth and to get into the studio and put some tracks down, and that was the birth of our ventures.
Yeah, well, your adventures have been quite impressive there, guys. And in fact, I listened to both of your EPs, and I have to say that your vocals, Steve, in the first one are quite a bit harder than the second one. That's my personal opinion. Is that how you see it as well?
Yeah, what we did was, the first one was really, we had the music put together. We had been jamming for a while, and we got to that, almost that stage where we were like, well, what's the next step? And the next step for us was to put it on to records, so that way we could progress into the band that we were molding ourselves into. That was our really sort of our adolescent introduction into the music world. And this Devil in Disguise is more of our, it's definitely more of a grown-up style listening that you get from that. You can tell in the way that the guitars, just the way that we learn music theory and how to apply it and how to actually, do the things that make a good record a good record.
Right.
Well, that's interesting that you bring up music theory. You sound like a way more polished and mature band than the short period of time you've been together. You formed in 2010, is that right?
Yep. Actually, the guys were together for a previous time before that. I joined into the band in 2010. This was actually my first venture. I've never been in a band. This was my virgin experience. So Kudos. It's been pretty fun.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
With that being said, the fact, I guess what I'm getting at here is the fact that you guys have done 2 EPs. You've only been out there for a short period of time, and you're a very polished act. And you had brought up your music theory. Are you all trained musicians as far as, schooling or excessive lessons, or is this like a self-taught, got together and it just felt right and we move forward?
Yeah, I'm giggling to myself because none of us degenerates have ever been in music school or anything like that.
That's impressive.
We're total self-taught. I mean, there have been a couple pointers that we got from working with our producer, BJ Perry, who's an amazing person. And when we did Devil in Disguise, we got a chance to do 2 of the songs or co-writes, Curtain Call and Killing Me. And it not only gave me the opportunity to see things from an outside perspective of my own writing, but it challenged me to have to be able to work with other parameters than just my own.
Right. Wow, that's pretty impressive. You guys have supported a few big names here. You see Black Label Society, Adelita's Way, Saliva, Power Man 5000, Flaw, Otherwise, Soil, and 3 years hollow. Wow, that's quite the resume you guys got going on there.
Yeah, thank you very much. We get we when the bands roll through to the Michigan area, we try to keep our ears perked up for anybody that's looking to have a good, whiskey fueled night full of music and metal. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah! So if you could choose one band that you would support, what would it be?
Oh wow, Corey, you go first on this one because we're gonna have different answers.
Personally, I'd have to say Seven Dust probably.
Oh wow,
Nice.
interesting.
Right on. I am a huge Rob Zombie fan.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you can't go wrong with a Rob Zombie
No, you
show either.
can't.
That's I think Corey likes it for the Seven Dust has been a staple. If you know anything about metal music or rock in general,
Right.
you know Seven Dust. And then the theatrics and the persona that Rob Zombie has is what I dig about that.
It's one thing to want to support those bands. I think we need to get you guys to a level where they're supporting
you. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah.
I'm never gonna not be
That
like,
would not be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, talking about supporting bands and concerts and whatnot, you guys have one coming up. What do you guys got coming up?
If we're talking about the April 28th show,
Yes,
we got
are.
lucky. We got lucky enough to be selected to head out to Vegas to go play at the M Resort at the what is that?
Rock into Spring.
Rock into Spring.
Hell
Yeah.
yes. That is
Interesting.
so
Hell
rad.
yes.
Interesting
We're
you
totally
guys brought
looking
that up.
forward to because it's like 15, 20 degrees here.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I think it's interesting you guys bring that up because you had to win a contest
Right.
to get that slot in that show, and that's where fans had to vote. And for the record, you guys were running in second place until you got the brutal bump from Honest Brutality, put you over the top. I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna lie. Yes, we did. We were totally trailing a little bit. We were the chubby kid coming around the corner. we got the nip in the ass from some honestly brutally people, and it pushed us over the edge.
You're
That is
welcome.
so awesome.
Well, we're excited.
Thank you very much.
We're excited too. We're gonna be out there, so
Yes,
we
we
can't wait
are.
to shake your hand, give you a hug, and have a drink with you.
Whiskey.
Oh, absolutely. You better plan on 2 or 3 of those because I'm a big drinker.
Yes, you are. So now you do like whiskey. What's your favorite whiskey?
Oh, I'm a Frank Sinatra man. I will be buried with a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Ah, there you go.
Attaboy.
I figured you'd say you're a Lemmy man. It's metal.
Yeah, give me a nice Tanqueray Bay.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Let's talk about your guys' style. So for the listening audience, if you haven't already checked out State of Mind, you need to. You guys are very much in the pocket of what's going on in modern music as far as it's relatable. But you have a unique, distinct flavor to you, although I do pick up some influences, and I'd like for you to tell me who your influences are and how you describe your sound.
The easiest way for me to describe our sound is just to really lay it out there and put it out there that we're whiskey rock. You know what I mean? Like, we are a good time. Like, when you put the needle on, when you drop the headphones in, you can start us out from the middle of the EP all the way to the end and then listen to the beginning. You can do that. We've got a plethora of influences that we try to pull upon. We like some of the 5 Finger Death Punch, that's really relatable to that. And then you can switch into like a Gemini Syndrome. And then you can switch out from that, and you can hear yourself maybe a little Deftones if you pay close enough attention and shit. And that's really where we try to slide into because it's home for us. That's what we've listened to growing up. That's
Right.
what we know, and that's it embodies what we do.
Right. Well, it's good. You can definitely hear the Ivan Moody kind of vocal-esque in your voice. I love it.
It's interesting the way you said drop the needle because I feel like not enough people listen to records anymore, man. Vinyl is making a comeback, though.
Well, when I heard drop the needle, I was thinking about tying my arm off. And
Yeah,
Oh,
stop
my
it.
Is that wrong?
That
Was
is
I on the
so
wrong flow there?
Well,
Oh.
We'll press for the vinyls, but take it for what you want. You know what I mean?
That is so awesome. Steve, you have a thing for cold water, man.
Yes, I do.
Oh man,
I am a huge Scandinavian bearded Viking, and I take ice cube baths, and it's an amazing thing for your pores and your skin.
What?
You're totally pulling my leg right now.
To be God's honest with you, I take like lukewarm showers, and at the very end, I get it as cold as I can for as long as I can stand it, and I just stand there for as long.
Or the water heater isn't working.
Well, so before we have conversations, we do a little research on you. So I was digging, and that's what I do.
Uh-oh.
I saw your video for the ice water challenge at the golf course of all places.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That was so disgusting. I jumped in and immediately regretted everything about that decision.
Oh, yeah.
That was some of the dirtiest, blackest. I opened my eyes and I thought I saw Satan himself.
Oh, yeah. You jumped out as fast as you jumped in. And then Lansing Polar Plunge in your Batman costume.
Yes, I frequently put that on underneath my clothes just to bust it out because I enjoy that style of life. But we also got a chance to be lucky enough to go out to the Lansing Polar Plunge. It was an event for the Special Olympics,
right on.
Part of that. So I was absolutely honored. We got a chance to do the national anthem and to do an acoustic, the very first and only version of an acoustic rise that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm beyond thankful to be able to say that I kicked off that polar plunge and had a chance to be able to do that.
I just got this visual. You're talking about wearing that Batman costume under your clothes, and I could just see you at a bar meeting a real friendly young lady. And taking her back to your place and taking off your shirt and saying, "What the fuck?" Hey, baby, I'm Batman.
That's when you slowly lean in and you're like, "What's my name?" And she's like, "Steve." And I like rip my shirt off and I'm like, "No, it's fucking Batman."
I was just gonna say you can't take your shirt off if you wear a Batman costume. You got to rip that thing off.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
it's Adam West.
Underneath that, he's wearing his Batman da-dun-da-duns. Hey, Steve, you have tattoos on your knuckles. One of them is mom, and I do believe the other one is dad. I didn't see clear pictures of that. Is that correct? So one side mom, one side dad?
Absolutely. You gotta remember the hammer and the heart.
Absolutely, you do. So why don't you tell us a little bit about growing up and how your parents encouraged you musically to kind of go after your dreams?
I have the saddest story in the world, in that both of my parents are like anti-music people.
Wow.
My dad is, well, it's not their anti-music, but my dad grew up a gearhead. He can tell you the displacement ratio between a 68 and a 69 442 just as fast as anybody else. But what it really gave me the opportunity to do is I grew up almost like a natural child of the 60s. I got to listen to Jimi Hendrix, and then I moved into Leonard Skinner, and then my favorite band ever, Black Sabbath. And then I listened to, all the Pink Floyd albums, and then I graduated into the Slipknot and Tool and everything else that came with it. Along with me being from the Detroit metro area, I listened to Otis Redding and the Temptations and everything in between, and it just gave me such a natural birth into the scene. And when they found out that it was my passion, though, they did. My parents full-fledged. My dad still comes out to shows.
That's
my
awesome.
dad looks like Paul Sr. from Orange County Choppers. He's big, our mustache. He's like 280 pounds. You know what I mean? Just tattooed all over, and he fits right in with our shows, and it's an awesome thing to have.
That's killer.
That's awesome.
Real
so,
cool.
Corey, what about you? Tell us a little bit about your upbringing as far as music is concerned, and how you picked up the bass and you slap at the bass.
Yeah, honestly, my grandfather was a bass player in like a country western style band. My parents didn't play instruments. My dad would pick up the guitar here and there, but he honestly was horrible at it.
Sorry, Jeff.
Sorry, Dad.
But, they were kind of like line dancers and stuff. They were kind of from the farm agricultural background. So as a kid, I'd be like riding on the tractor, listening to anything from classic rock to country. Yeah, a lot of the same stuff as Steve, just a little more of that country influence.
Uh-huh.
We won't hold that against you.
And then, you hit that middle school, adolescent age, and you start picking up the Metallica records, Pantera.
There it is.
Yeah.
For the record, folks.
I was waiting for it.
It doesn't matter who we're talking to. Pantera comes up as an influence. It's amazing.
All the time.
Every single time.
Yes.
That's a great thing.
It's a fantastic thing.
Well, so I'm curious, guys, how does State of Mind form? How did you all come together?
Well, myself, Matt, and Mike, the drummer and other guitar player, we were in 8th grade. We just got all our instruments for Christmas, started just
deafening your parents in basements
right.
and rooms.
And then we just never left each other.
Wow.
We brought up John, the other guitar player, in high school, went through a few singers, and nothing was ever real serious, and then we brought Steve on, and everything's
shit got serious.
It got real, man. So you guys have been together since the 8th grade.
Wow.
Yes.
Christmas Day, 8th grade.
That's very
Exactly.
It's very reminiscent of the Iron Maiden story. Those guys were all childhood kids and got presents and didn't know how to play them, and then went and got lessons, and it's really cool.
You hear that, guys? He just compared you to Iron Maiden.
Thank you. I will take Bruce Dickinson.
Oh my God.
Well, let's back up just a second, though. You just said, that Steven joined the band and shit got serious. So, and I don't mean this with any disrespect, but how serious are you guys? How far do you want to take this thing? Because your music's amazing. I mean, what do you guys see yourselves doing in the very near future?
In the very near future, it's going to be comprised of writing and trying to get us out into any sort of mini tours that we have on the docket right now. We're trying to line up a couple shows on the way to and from Vegas, the April 28th show right out there in Las Vegas. That's pretty much for right now, because we're going to head back in. And what we're really trying to do, without letting the cat out of the bag, is we're really trying to expand on the EP and maybe turn it into a little bit more than just an EP.
Well, let's let the cat out of the bag. You guys got more tunes written already? What's going on?
Oh, we always write. That's one of the things that we're really good at. We multitask like that. So we're due to head back in and to have something here. Can we say in the next? Can we tell in the next?
Probably
in the next 60 days. Yeah.
So in the next 60 days, we're going to be debuting a new tune on Honest Brutality, huh?
Oh yeah. We do that for sure.
Awesome.
All right, just making sure, man.
That's badass.
Remember who loved you first, man.
We love you long time.
Right. I was going to say it's not first; it's how often.
Yeah. Right.
So awesome. So now both of you have kids, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
Do your children go to your guys' shows?
Not yet, because we haven't had the opportunity to play with anything that's within the correct parental guidelines for getting your child to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's usually on his iPad until late night anyway. So, but if given the opportunity to do all ages shows, absolutely. That's one of the things too that we love about it is it doesn't matter what cut of your cloth, what background you have, you're gonna have a good time. It's bound to happen. So, you can sit back and relax and let it happen, baby.
Right.
Well, you guys are a fairly young band. I think that's fair to say. And your bio is, albeit brief, it is somewhat informative, but there's some questions out there that I'm sure people have. And one of the ones people always ask is, where'd the name come from? Why State of Mind?
That was one of the components that we were sitting around one day, and we had the generic names beforehand and stuff, and we, just like the graduating with the music theory, we had to graduate with a more that name that wasn't such an adolescent thing. So we were really sitting down and we were pondering to ourselves, what state am I in? What's going on right now in my life to give me something to draw on? And then we started to think about that thought itself, like this state of mind. What is your state and where are you at and what's, you know what I mean? And so it's really just the question itself of state of mind.
That's awesome.
And plus Foo Fighters was already taken, so.
Right, yeah. Grounding Pool for some reason.
That's because of his time jumping in the pond.
So what happens when you see Satan, you know?
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So Corey, you're pretty much into cars and guns, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I love to shoot guns. Me and my brother-in-law like to go to the range as often as possible. I'm a proud concealed carry guy.
Look at that. You're preaching to the choir here, buddy.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's the open carry law there? So obviously you have to have a CCW, right?
No, you can legally open carry.
Damn it.
Which means you could,
As long as it's exposed.
you could carry an AR-15 down the street if you want to get the cops called and ask you what the But there's a concealed carry, which means
Right.
you have to take a class, get certified,
Right.
get approved by the state,
Yeah.
and then you can carry in your car.
Make sure you haven't worked for the post office in the last 4 years.
Well,
All the strict regimen things they do.
we can absolutely relate. Even though we're in California, we are in Northern California. Our ideas are just a little bit different than those in the south of the state. And if you tried to steal anything out of this studio, you'd find out real quick.
Right, 150 grain moves fast.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, we're definitely gun enthusiasts around here.
Hey, Cosmo, he's not talking about measure and crank. It's all right, man.
I don't do drugs. I just smoke weed.
I don't do drugs. I just smoke weed.
That's
Hey,
not
guys,
drugs.
So
Did I slip up and say grams again? I meant
what does your future look like as far as touring goes? How hard is that for you guys? And do you see yourselves getting out any further on the West Coast or doing anything on this side of the United States?
As it sits right now, the Vegas trip is the only thing that we have booked, but we're always hungry. We're always willing to, you know what I mean? If you've got shows that need us played, you know, we're there. You know, bags are packed and shit's ready to rock.
Right.
As far as like planning something, as far as that goes, I think that for us in our little circle and circumference until we get the motorhome fixed, to be able to carry shit around,
Right.
you know, it's going to probably be more of a Midwest belt, this side of the Mississippi thing until we grow the wings large enough to be able to substantiate that.
But
Right.
you guys do pretty good out there in the Midwest. It's our experience talking with artists that in the United States right now, the Midwest seems to have some of the most active venues, audience members, and bands, and seems to be kind of the hotbed for rock and metal. What do you think about that?
You know what? I will agree to that and to attest to that to my own. I mean, we went down to Indiana and played a show at Club Fever, and that was an absolutely amazing venue. Had an amazing turnout, and then by proxy, we can go stay right here at home in Michigan. We can go down to Battle Creek and play, or we can go to Flint and play at the Machine Shop. And there's no shortage of talent to be able to fill a bill.
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunate for us out here. We actually, we love California, but we, being in the northern region, don't see a lot of artists. We have to travel to see artists.
Yeah.
We're talking 2 to 3 hour drive anywhere.
Minimum.
To go see
Minimum.
something. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's,
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So we work really hard to be fans.
And a lot of time and a lot of money.
But we're
going
going to change that. If you build it, they will come, and that's what we're trying to do out here.
Hey, so what's the biggest gig you guys have
Right
played?
on. Oh shit! Let's see. Drawing a blank. I don't know.
Questions get harder as we go, man.
Damn it!
Probably Machine Shop or some of the Harpo shows when we were younger in Detroit. Upwards of 3,000-4,000 people. That was the Black Label. Suicidal Tendencies. That was a big one we did, which was surprisingly just packed with people.
Yeah? Wow.
Oh, Fahrenheit playing with Saving Abel and Saliva and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
They
Right.
packed. We got a bunch of people in there for that.
Detroit has always kind of been labeled the rock city, but what is
Thanks
it?
to Kiss.
Well, yeah, but what is it like? What is that scene like now? Is Detroit still very active? Are you guys feeling the love out there when you go play?
Well, we haven't gotten out to Detroit just yet, but we have certain people that we are affiliated with through the production and everything else that know that Detroit is happening, an absolute hotbed right now, and we are avidly trying to get out that way. That's one of the things that we are, as we start to dominate things in our own minds as well as locally, we want to spread out and get that done, get Detroit, get Grand Rapids, get up to Traverse City, and do all the things like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Detroit kind of took a hit, the whole recession deal.
Right.
Like Harpo's used to be the spot where, you know, your Slipknots and Coal Chambers.
Kitty and everybody.
I mean, everyone was coming through there. Now it's kind of died off, and luckily Machine Shop, which is pretty world renowned, you've had to have heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
That in Grand Rapids, I would say, is probably
Yep.
the more of the rock cities right now in Michigan.
Wow.
Grand Rapids?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
That
crazy.
caught me off guard.
Yeah,
You know,
right?
I think, you always think LA, New York, Grand Rapids.
Yeah, that's one of the
Doesn't
little
roll off the
sleeper
tongue.
They've got a couple of places out there, the intersection and the orbit room, that are absolute rock houses that you can go see some badass bands for an absolutely respectable price.
Let's go back to your guys' EP, Devil in Disguise, real quick. You guys covered Rise, and that is originally by Katy Perry, yes?
Yes.
What made you think of doing that song?
So we were finishing up the EP Devil in Disguise, and we were kind of sitting, waiting to see what would evolve if we were going to do another co-write, or if we wanted to find something that we were going to maybe cover, and we were just kind of feeling say blah about it.
Uh-huh.
Then we heard my producer got a hold of us and said, you got to check out this song and tell me what you guys think. And right away, when you hear the original, it's, and no disrespect to her or the campaign that she has or the crew that she runs, but that song to us, when I heard it, it screams for more to me, as long as, musically from that perspective. And as soon as I heard it, the possibility and the potential inside of that to have that, it spoke volumes alone.
Well, I just have to say that it's one of my favorite songs that you guys do. It gives me goosebumps every flipping time. Like, the emotion in your vocals is just like, is crazy. But kudos to you, because you guys nailed it. You know what? You guys you actually made it your own. Because I didn't know it was cover when I first heard it.
Right. That's one of the things. Yeah. It's not really a cover. It's more of a rendition.
Rendition. You know there you go.
Interpretation.
Interpretation. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about the song Undertow and the lyrics contained within, because that one catches my attention every time I run it.
That specifically, when I wrote that, was certain people are inescapable. Mm-hmm. And no matter where you try to travel, it's until you either drown or swim in a different direction. They just try to pull you down, and that's exactly if you pay attention to the lyrics on that, that's really what it's telling.
Well, and that's what I picked up, and I was just I figured, let's see if I can do the rock journalist thing. So who's the black hole that's sucking you in, pal?
Oh man, I don't know. You'll have to leave that open.
I tried.
Well, you guys have a song called Undertow. You know what the next one's got to be? Camel toe.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
You know, that's funny.
Christ.
That's funny that you're that close, because it was actually going to be moose knuckle.
Oh, he just gave you a run for your money there.
I love these guys.
Actually, I really like Broke by Monday. That's a super fun song.
The story of my life.
The story of my life, yeah. So tell me the story behind that song.
That's literally me just telling you what happens on my weekend.
So awesome.
I put it on paper and shit, and I am eternally broke by Monday every single time it comes around.
Oh,
like, Christ, how did this happen?
Right. So now, as far as the writing process, Steve, are you doing most of the writing? Corey, how does the writing process? How do you guys come together with your songs?
The lyrics are done by me.
Right.
But what we do is, if we're having band practice, we'll usually tune up and if we're doing rehearsal, we'll tune up and we'll just go into what we're feeling. You know, if we're feeling a rock riff, we'll start to play that. Something a little bit more metal melody, we'll get into that, and we'll just dance with the devil and see where it leads.
Right. Well, there you go. I like that. Dance with the devil. That's your next song name.
Yeah. It was a fight. It was a fight between 5 people just to be able to have "devil" in the name of the EP. So I don't know if I'm gonna get that.
Oh, really? Tell us that story. Why?
Right.
It was just frowned upon at first until I elaborated. It's not. I'm not talking about Beelzebub himself.
Right.
What are you, a quitter?
No.
Do you have a problem with me?
Oh, with me. Okay, evil.
No, nothing at all. It's just that if I outsmart the fox, it's way easier of an argument for me.
Right. I love it. That's
the way
awesome.
you put that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Let's put ourselves 10 years from today. We're having another conversation, and where our state of mind at that point in time?
I could probably say Watkins Funeral Home. It's located on the corner of 5th and Main.
No.
You can leave all drugs and every ounce of alcohol in lieu of flowers.
No.
Honestly, though, to be totally honest with you, I would like to be able to be talking to you face to face, to be able to tell you that we have achieved mutual dreams between 5 people. And I have lived as fun and serious of a life as I could, and just to be thankful to be able to still doing what I'm doing.
I would like that too, because that face to face would be me behind the glass, and you guys paying me a visit.
Oh, talking about 10 years, you guys covered Wasteland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, it was.
Wow, she did do some research.
It was. It was fucking rad. Excuse my fucking language. It was fucking rad.
We got her to swear. All right.
It's not that hard to do.
No, it's not hard to do at all.
Now we've talked about the cover, and then of course your rendition of Rise on your next album or EP, your extended EP. What are you guys going to pull any other songs? Do any other kind of covers?
See, we're not really sure. That's one of the things that we have some stuff written right now that we're wanting to take in there and see where that leads before we put any thought into that.
Right.
But it's always on the table. You know what I mean? If something comes around and it feels right, then I'm always about no regrets in your decisions, and if it feels right, you do it, and don't look back on it.
Honestly, our producer BJ really wants to do another cover, so don't be surprised if that's our next single out.
It's not a bad marketing idea right now. It's
No,
just working
It's a
for
real-
everybody.
Yeah, it's a real. Look at Disturbed.
Yeah. If
Look
those
at
guys
Sound
are
of
doing
Silence
covers
right
to
now.
get notoriety where they're at.
Yeah, and Grammy nominations for
Yeah,
God's sake.
yeah.
For that. That's,
Well, BJ actually works with I Prevail. He's the one that did Blank Space.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
So that's kind of where our kind of plans always come from.
Gotcha.
As far as
right.
it's a good way to get publicity and
Yeah.
get people to listen to your other music.
Yeah, when State of Mind does the Macarena, I'll be first in line, baby.
I bet you they do it killer.
That's right.
With a whiskey in hand.
Absolutely. Well, hey guys, I have to skip out for just a couple minutes.
Okay.
I leave you in the gentle, soft, Jergens covered hands of my bass player.
Oh, so you're telling us the conversation's going to get good now? Okay, yeah, move on. We got it.
Absolutely. I shall return, guys. I
All right.
promise I'll
Okay.
be back.
Okay. No
All
problem.
right,
Thank
go
you.
make some money.
Hey, Corey.
Yes, sir.
Now that he's gone,
Okay.
we want to know all
right.
the dirt about
yeah,
Steve.
we want something good. Man. Give us something juicy, brother.
Honestly, I don't know what this band would be without Steve. He's just that fun-loving guy that just brings it to the band, man.
That's awesome.
I don't know how else to put it.
Do you remember when you guys auditioned him? Can you tell us a story about that?
Yeah, actually, we had heard him do some karaoke, and we knew right then that we had to have him. And Steve and I played together on our varsity football team, so it wasn't like we didn't know each other.
Right.
So we knew he wanted to kind of get into music. He was pretty green on the music industry, and songwriting, but we needed a singer. We seen him do some covers of Stained, actually.
Wow. I can see
And
that.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, good choice.
What are the biggest frustrations and struggles that you run into as a band right now?
Oh, gosh. I would say just trying to get support as far as a record label, which we're kind of finding out. If you read it up on Adelita's Way, they turned down a record, re-signing their contract with their label, because they actually found it was easier and more profitable to do things independently.
That's a very good point, and I think that we're seeing that trend more and more these
DIY.
days.
Right, and it's kind of where we're at right now. It's like, where do we go next? You know, booking that long tour with, you know, finding the right booking agent that can make it profitable for us so we can leave home and know everybody's taken care of. That's probably the biggest struggle. Everything else it's pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, right.
Well, you talk
the music's so good. I mean,
yeah,
it
you
is.
talk about leaving home and worried about keeping your family fed. I mean, you said you got a kid, right?
I have two.
You have two. How old are your kids, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, I have a 6-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter.
Oh, sweet. Those are the fun ages, man. I miss those. Oh,
Right?
Well, until they get 16, you want to strangle the shit out of them. Yeah. But anyway, to leave that, and we talk to a lot of bands that really do struggle. They got to make that choice. Either we're going to go just freaking go for it, get out on the road, try to make a living at this, or they got to try to do part-time band. You're playing gigs on the weekend. You're doing what you can to squeeze in just to get out there and get in front of people. But you can only reach so many people by doing a weekend gig. You're going to stay right in your little circle there, and you can't really expand. And it's a struggle. And the older you get, and the more family commitments you have, the harder it is to live that dream.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just the reality of it.
And we see more and more with bands that we talk to where they're not actually signing on to labels. They're partnering with labels or they're working with labels because of distribution.
Right.
Yeah. Have you guys looked at buying into a tour? Because we're seeing that a lot. I discourage it, but
absolutely,
you do see that where it's tempting to buy onto a tour because the promise of being in front of big numbers, but the payoff in that is generally not worth the money you put into it.
Right. That is definitely something we are looking into soon. That was kind of our next step. We kind of looked into we've had a small experience with talking to labels, and what you find is all your music sales are pretty much taken away from you.
Right.
So you're not making money unless you're on the road.
Yeah. Selling merch and doing it that way. It's been that way for a little while now. It's just been going more and more that direction. But you got to get out there in front of people to sell your merch.
Well, right. But I would say that if we were going to give anybody any advice at all, any band at all, at this point, from what we know at this juncture, we would say look at Marty McCoy, look at Bubba Flex, look at Backwards, look at bands where they have taken control and management in-house and they do it themselves and they're partnering with people and doing it that way, but not necessarily, and boy, the labels that we work with probably hating me right now. But the reality is that what's good for the artist and what's good for the fans aren't necessarily always the same animal as what's good for business.
Right.
Did you just pop a beer?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, actually it's spring water.
Oh, come on, man. We're gonna edit this. All right. When she asks you that again, say, hell no, it's Jack Daniels. All right, you ready? Go ahead, Rebel.
Did you just crack open a beer?
Hell no, Jack Daniels.
All right.
In a can.
My man. You see there? You need Big Sloppy gave you some guidance. Take care.
That's funny.
You gotta live the metal lifestyle, baby. You got.
He is hilarious. Do you remember the first time you hit the stage?
Yes, I do actually.
Tell me about your experience.
The giggle scares me.
I know.
Well, it just goes way back. I mean, we were 16 years old. I'm going to bring up the Harpo's venue again. It was that Suicidal Tendencies show, and just nerve-wracking and the inexperience and just not knowing what to do, but it was awesome. I mean,
Your
you
first
feel
show.
that adrenaline for the first time, and it's like a drug.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
Are you
back it up.
telling me your first show was opening for Suicidal Tendencies?
First big stage show, yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Holy snap!
That's trial by fire, brother. Trial by fucking fire.
Jesus.
And it was more of like a pay-to-play kind of deal where they'd say, "Here's 100 tickets, and you have to sell these."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Not uncommon.
But we did it.
Wow, that's pretty rad, though.
So did you get to meet anybody from Suicidal?
No, we didn't. No.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I'm always curious to hear what Mike here has to say. That
Because
guy.
he comes across as really a cool dude,
Yeah.
you know?
No, we never really got to meet anybody till we started doing, like, we did play with Bubble Flex. We got to meet those guys. They're really cool.
Oh, they're hilarious.
The guys from Flaw are pretty cool. We've met them.
Shinedown too. Haven't you played with them?
Just Zach Myers. He does that kind of independent tour where he does acoustic shows and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and he's a real cool guy. But he wouldn't drink. He wouldn't let us buy him a beer. Nothing like that. So
Pussy.
that was kind of a letdown. But
Yeah. For the listening audience, where can they find your music? Where can they download it? What are your social media outlets? Why don't you give us a list of that?
Yep, we can be found on Facebook, Twitter. We have a kind of virgin Instagram account. We're not really active on that. Facebook is just an awesome tool for us. Most of our successes come off of that. So, you can find our smart URL for our digital downloads on Facebook. It's just smart URL, State of Mind. We have a merch store that'll be up in probably the next month where people can actually order physical copies of our CD.
You have shirts available?
Right now, yep, those will be available.
Awesome.
Right now, physical copies and CDs are just, we're mailing them out at the post office. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So that'll be up and running soon, and, hopefully that'll take off. We're getting a lot of requests from everybody for...
Well, Big Sloppy is asking for a large.
A large CD?
A large CD? That would be
so
vinyl.
Big Floppy's not an extra large. That's kind of a surprise.
He used to be.
Well, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. We really appreciate it. And we cannot wait to share this conversation with the rest of the world and to get your music out there and get it heard.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You
Take
too.
care, buddy.
What a great couple of guys from State of Mind and a great band with some awesome music. They've come out of the gate swinging for a fairly recent act, and I think they're going to do amazing things in the music world in the very near future.
I would say unknown for now. I think that's going to change.
Absolutely.
I think they've got the quality of music there to break out and be a known entity, and they're not afraid to get out and play shows and get in front of people and let their flag fly. And I agree. I think they've got good things coming.
They're absolutely amazing.
We have to take our hats off to Rebel on this one because she really was the one that brought them to our attention and developed that rapport.
Yep.
And good job, Rebel. And in the meantime, get out there, check those guys out, show them some love, tell them that we sent you. Again, that is State of Mind, M-I-N-E.
Get out and see a live show, folks. I
buy
can't
some
stress
merch.
that enough.
And, if you're going to download it, pay the 99 cents for the song or the $5 for the album.
Pennies.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you need more honest brutality in your life, you can do that by going to honestbrutality.com. All things Honest Brutality 24/7. We are updating the website as we speak. A lot of things going on there. You can also check us out on all of our different socials. Facebook.
Pickle smack.
Face back.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all the various socials. If I can pronounce them correctly, it helps. You can also give us a call
at 530-962-0411. Please give us a call. Give us some feedback. Let us know how you like State of Mind. I'm sure you're going to get a kick out of it as much as we did.
And pay close attention to us on Rock Rage Radio. Our show's on Saturday at... I always get backwards because Rebel goes Pacific then Eastern, and I go Eastern then Pacific. So let's do it this way. I'll try it her way.
All right.
Let's see. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays.
Hey, wait. Are you sure it's not 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Where you're probably going to hear some more State of Mind in the very near future. Or you can listen to us on Tuesday nights.
Yes, and that would be Center Stage with Honest Brutality, and that's at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk to bands and plug their music.
It could actually be 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific.
It could.
Okay.
See what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. The math.
do
The
the
math.
You know, I thought I was going to be a smart ass, but I confused the hell out of myself. So.
You probably just confused our listeners, too. Thanks.
Also,
Jack.
we know that we're going to be at Rock Into Spring, and
Yes,
so is
we
State of
will.
Mind. If you're out this way, or if you're looking for a show to go to, get a ticket. Come out. Going to be a great show.
It's in Vegas, for God's
Vegas,
sake.
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Come party with us. And you know what? Maybe we'll just all get in a big group hug and say, "Stay metal."
Stay metal.
Here, some State of Mind.
Come on, man. Where's Matt? We gotta go. Dude, let's go. Come on, man. One more. No.
I won't just survive. Oh, you will see me thrive. Can't write my story. I'm beyond the archetype. I won't just conform. No matter how you shake my core. 'Cause my roots, they run deep. Oh, oh, you're so little faith. Don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in my veins. I know it, and I will not negotiate. I'll fight it, I will transform. I will transform. When the fire's at my feet again, and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. This is no mistake, no accident. When you take the final nail is think again. Don't be surprised, I will still rise. I must stay conscious through the madness and chaos. So I call on my angels. They say, oh, you're so little faith. Don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in your veins. You know it, and you will not negotiate. Just fight it, and be transformed. And be transformed. 'Cause when the fire's at my feet again, and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. This is no mistake, no accident. When you take the final nail is think again. Don't be surprised, I will still rise.
Honest brutality.